Hi, I'm Jessica Morales Myers, and I'm the Corporate Mind Strategist. What I love to do is to make you aware of what you're not consciously considering because you're not aware of it, quite frankly. Over 95% of our day-to-day is literally driven by the unconscious mind. Especially while you're working, you are on autopilot. Your mind goes off and does things automatically that it knows to do. And so those unconscious tendencies that happen, those life scripts that we bring into the workplace that we don't even realize might be causing issues with communication, connection, or performance. All of that matters, and we need to address it on a deeper level, and I help you do that. So today I want to talk about something that has come up quite a bit. It is the term quiet quitting, or the silent resignation, or the quiet resignation. Have you heard of these terms? So again, I want to make you aware of things you might not be considering, because just this morning I was listening to a video and quiet quitting came up. And I could see in the comments that people were saying that is the best way to lower your diabetes, lower your blood pressure, just be a happier person, because quiet quitting is not quitting at all. You're still going to work and you're getting that check, but you're just doing the basics so that you're not going to get fired. You're just barely doing what you need to do so that you're not going to get fired. So you start exactly when you're supposed to start. You end when you're supposed to end. You're not trying to accelerate your career, or you're just there doing the bare minimum, right? So here's what I want you to consider. I have told you I am a mind specialist in training the brain. I help you upgrade your mental inventory. And there are two ways that you can rewire how your brain fires. That is either through hypnosis, hypnotherapy sessions with someone like me, or through repetitive behavior, even when you don't want to, until you override your automatic tendencies and this becomes a new habit. And it's a lot harder than people give it credit for, because there's a lot of self-sabotage and internal resistance, because again, that unconscious mind is literally affecting over 95% of your day-to-day. So that is quite the odds against you, right? So these are the things that you might not be considering. So while you are working, you are firing and wiring together repetitive patterns. So if your pattern is to not care so much, not be fully invested, not be motivated, quite frankly, how are you going to ever feel happiness or joyfulness in your workplace? I don't need that. This is just a check. Be careful with that, because you are training your brain to feel and think that way, and it's going to trigger a response, a chemical cascade in the body that responds to that kind of trigger or that kind of data. What you input is what you output into the body. So it might be the silent stress that you're not even recognizing because you think you're coasting, but really it's still an environment where you feel stressed. You may not feel valued. You may not feel appreciated. You may not feel acknowledged or even noticed, right? How does that make you feel? You are not a robot. You're going to have negative energy or negative emotion running through the body. And so the brain has to trigger the right response. So let's say it's stress and you're triggering cortisol. Guess who that affects most? Not the office. That affects you. And if you're trying to take care of the best, take good care of you, the best care of you possible, is that doing it? So I have two options for you. Number one, you simply quit. You find that other position beforehand if you can, and you move on to where you are celebrated and not just tolerated. Or you stay in that position, because I get it. Sometimes, you just need to make sure you have that check coming in, especially if you are in a position of leadership and you've worked your way to a certain position. Maybe you like your clientele that you service. There's people on the outside that you work with that you just absolutely love. So what I want you to do, I want you to be encouraged to find your joyful moments. You must have positive emotion throughout your workday, because those positive emotions help you use your best mental assets, using the best that your mind has to offer. Why would you want to train your brain that way? Because what you experience in the workplace, you take home. And so I want you to take home those better, more positive feelings. It affects your pro-social relationships, right? It affects the physical body, your mental health and well-being, and that is more valuable than anything else. So if you're going to quietly quit, that is up to you. If that is aligned with who you want to be, that is up to you. But you must experience and be intentional and consciously aware to override those unconscious tendencies to lean to the upside, to find those joys, to savor those good moments, not to punish yourself or keep from interacting with anybody because I'm just there for a job. It may cost you more than what it's worth. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that because it's something that I think that people are not considering. And as a mind strategist, a certified hypnotherapist, someone who is specialized in training the brain and upgrading your mental inventory, it's important that you consider these factors. And I ask you, every single day when you're at work, how are you training your brain? What are you allowing to seed into your mind? Can you create a desensitization against the toxicity or the negativity? And let me tell you, oh yes, you can. Oh yes, you can. I have worked with many clients on this to desensitize their response, that reaction viscerally that the body can have to neutralize that charge so that you can work better, fare better, and still be able to flourish even in an environment that maybe initially wasn't the very best for you. And that's pretty powerful. That's self-empowering. You may move to another job and have a similar or even worse experience. But what if you could master that and be intentional and steer your mind how you want it to thrive and impact what hormones, what's being cascaded in the physical body just by the power of your thoughts? You are way more powerful than you give yourself credit for. So stop diluting that energy out here and bring it up here. And you may be surprised to find that you can actually upgrade your work life. So I'd love to hear your opinion on that. Have you experienced this before? How did you handle it? What was the result? Maybe you did have positive responses and results after you quietly resigned or quietly quit. Is this happening in your organization? Let's talk about it. I'm Jessica Myers, the Corporate Mind Strategist, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.